Odias have this ability to stick to things and solve them. Like I treat Indians to be one of the best problem solvers, jugadus. Honestly, I've worked with multiple races and regions. I've never seen a single jugadu as much as an Indian. And in that, if you want that simple guy who can stick to it and is going to deliver what has been told, he will be an Odia.
Technology throughout the years, एते वर्ष हला जो changes हेची.
It may sound very futuristic, but it's not too far. But a chemical reaction that would have taken 1,000 years to be tested and arrived, with a computer, not physically, they have been able to do it within minutes.
Chatbot टा ताले AI रे गोटे पार्ट ही.
AI जितने robotics side की जाए, that's a totally different subject.
Actually, neuromorphic computing.
हाँ.
माने which mimics human intelligence.
Which is the most important part of human intelligence then.
I think emotion ଆଉ empathy. आपण जो एजेंटिंग सिस्टम टा कहिले सेटा केमती स्टार्ट हेतला आ गोटे चैटबॉट निजे काम करके आ गोटे चैटबॉट
को हैंडओवर कर दो. That is chatbot नहीं. जितना भी YouTube देखছো ना. हाँ. If I can load a program into your system, ମୁଁ ଜାଣି ପାରିବି ମୋର viewer से YouTube ରେ exactly कौन देखुला. से माइक टा को देखुला ना स्पीकर को देखुला ना ग्लास टा को देखुला.
Given images, which is I think which is also part of synthetic media. तो synthetic media actually कौन? Is it just generative AI? এটা খালি generative AI কি? अच्छा मैं जो deep fake कहउछंती it's a part of synthetic media.
हाँ, it's all see any media that is not directly from media and it can be synthesized as synthetic media.
ताल deep fake actually fast रे गोटे भलो पर्पस पे
deep fake actually
गोटे जदि स्टूडेंट एबे टेक्नोलोजी कैरियर बिल्ड करिया चाहूँ सॉफ्टवेयर टेक कंपनी रे आज रेट रे बहुत डिमांड. आई थिंक कोविड पर तो सॉफ्टवेयर रे जो एंट्री आम रही ग्रेजुएट्स मानकर बहुत अधिक रही तो जड़े टेक्नोलोजी कैरियर बिल्ड करिया चाहूँ ताले को जिनस ता माने मुंडे रखियार अछि.
Ask me what they advise them. You have to have the right attitude, be a real problem solver, look out for your passion, find the technology around it, and build your career on these things. I'm sure you'll be successful.
मो मन रे बड़ा क्वेश्चन अछि. आज रेट रे मूवी देखिछि जे कोन सो टेक कंपनी रे जॉब करिया कहले बा कोन सो टेक अराउंड किछ गोटे बिल्ड करिया कहले डिग्री और प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग दुईटा अछि. जदि गोटे कोन सो रेप्यूटेड इंस्टीट्यूशन अपन डिग्री नौछंती और निजे कोन सो गोटे जिंस पढुछंती बा कोन सो गोटे जगार प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग नौछंती दुईटा भितरे इंपोर्टेंस कोन गोटे कंपनी त हायर करछि कोन देखुछि.
An entrepreneur is an entrepreneur when he knows how to utilize the resource correctly.
ଆଉ जोटू आरंभ करछि सेठी शेष करियो ओडिशा. ओडिशा रे टेक्नोलॉजी स्टार्टअप रो इकोनॉमी को भलिया और तार नेक्स्ट 5 इयर्स रे को भलिया अपॉर्चुनिटी अछि. नमस्कार, जय जगन्नाथ. मो ना होची बद्री. आउ आज आम वार्तालाप रे आम सह जोग दैछन्ती सर्वजित मिश्र. सर्वजित सर ओएसएस टेक्नोलोजी रो सीओओ. यही वार्तालाप आम तांकर कैरियर विषय एवं विभिन्न ट्रेंडिंग टेक्नोलोजी जेमती कि एआई, जेनेरेटिव एआई, न्यूरोमॉर्फिक कंप्यूटिंग, क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग, सिंथेटिक मीडिया विषय आलोचना करछु. एहा छड़ा सॉफ्टवेयर टेक्नोलोजी रे निजर कैरियर बनेवाकू को उपादान दरकार से विषय मध्ये आलोचना करछु. यही वार्तालाप होची आम वार्तालापर अध्याय 12. धन्यवाद सर्वजित. आज आम वार्तालाप आम सह वार्तालाप करिया आसथिबारु केमती अछंती?
Great.
तो आरंभ करियो आपनठु ही. तो आपनकर लाइफ जर्नी आपनकर एबे जाय कैरियर केमती रहिछि ता विषय टे कहिबे.
My career started in a town known as Chandrapur in Maharashtra. I started my career as a hardware engineer. Same time where laptops were fancy and even we didn't had many branded desktops. So I used to assemble computers.
Go year?
1999.
1999.
So technology was settle Windows 98 thila. To install a Windows we used to take full night. There used to be blue screens in between, manual intervention darkar thila. Internet was not there. Drivers khojiya pai we didn't had Google to search drivers. Jadi apan floppy disk drivers mille you have to install. That's why I started my career. But from there it has been a long journey, 25 years, 14 different countries, multiple international brands, IBM, Infosys, Satyam, Huawei, and almost many roles in IT per se, right from coding, as people think. Coding itself is an ocean of coding, testing, etc. So all levels I have covered, solutioning to sales in some forms. Now I'm a COO at Oasys Tech Solutions. या आगु मु CTO थिली नेपाल रे गोटे स्टार्टअप रे Oasys रे let me tell you a little more about Oasys as a company. 13 years into business, and this company is great in delivering services and solutions to government largely, especially Odisha government and few other governments. And they are we are largely into SAP and homegrown solutions. We are also into resource augmentation at different locations. So that's it. And in my career, I have seen so much, so many recessions, so many changes, working in IT in different environments, right from African countries to Southeast Asian countries. The journey has been amazing. But to give you a crux, IT as it looks glamorous is not that glamorous. It is sheer, hard work, sweat, and problem solving.
Mostly problem solving.
Mostly problem solving.
तो आपण ऑब्वियसली एते वर्ष हला करि आछंती तो टेक्नोलॉजी थ्रू आउट द इयर्स एते वर्ष हला जो चेंजेस हेची ता विषय टे कहिबे.
So I remember after my 10th class we used to go to learn computers, and that time it was basics. Basic used to be language, and tapare it came DOS.
Acha, basic language.
Yes, there is
symbolic instruction.
So there are three languages like Fortran, Pascal. We don't even hear about them anymore. But yeah, I started my journey in computers from then. So from a technology perspective, it has moved leaps and bounds. To give an analogy, when we were kids, we used to play phone and train. Now it is, when you say phone, people even don't even realize that phone used to be a stationary object and it used to be in one location.
Achha, like landline.
Landline. There used to be a Bakelite, black color phone which used to ring. So phone used to be a stationary object at your workplace or home. But it's hard to realize it. How can phone be stationary, right? So technology has transformed from there to now. So typically from IT, we used to code differently, we used to save differently, things are way different. So from there to now, everything has changed. Rather, it's very difficult for someone to imagine how we would have done those things, especially technology, writing each thing on your own. Now everything is libraries, you have packages, you can pull them, call them and do it. So including how technology bond with each other. Aguru, there used to be separate component for everything. Now they are all inbuilt. For example, even let us say if I am building a call center, now solution comes in single pieces, with ability to configure. So each component used to be developed separately. So technology have drastically changed, which is good for us, because what we used to do in months, today it happens in hours, sometimes even in minutes, right? So it is great to see such a humongous change over technology over years, and I'm happy to be born in India, in Odisha. The reason being, I may realize korni, but Odias have this ability to stick to things and solve them. Great in that perspective. And they are not that fancy on getting names. You would have never seen large names per se, like you see South Indian names. But you will see every team will have certain amount of Odia people who would silently do their work consistently. And I have seen particularly, like I treat Indians to be one of the best problem solvers, jugadus. Honestly, I have worked with multiple races and regions. I have never seen a single jugadu as much as an Indian. And in that, if you want that simple guy who can stick to it and is going to deliver what has been told, he will be an Odia. So that is amazing. So I, sincerely I feel, Odias have the speciality to it. But I also want, from my depth of my heart, they should be a little more smarter, not only, to deliver things, but also to, take the lead and, get the name for themselves. And I think now the time has come, because now the technology has evolved to a place where we can take that advantage. So there are different stages in which, you will see this response of different, regions of the world population types, human types coming up. So for example, there was one time when Japanese were very popular because electronics was in phase. Similarly, there was a wave of Indians where IT came into phase, right? Now there is another wave of thing which is going to come up where creativity is going to be the thing. If you know problem solving and if you can get creative, rest thing systems will do for you, right? With AI, with automation, with things ready to be used. And that is the place where I see a lot of Odia people coming into picture. I don't know you relate it or not, but Odia is in depth aligned to culture and art.
Kala Sanskruti.
It's very, very deep. It's deep into it. I mean, you cannot take it out. So that they may practice it or not, it doesn't matter, but it is there with them. They'll at least appreciate it. So someone may not be practicing, but they'll appreciate it. That means that essence is there. And in this new era, I see them opening up and taking that lead role with the use of technology. For example, ଏବେ जो ଆସିଥିଲା ChatGPT ରେ କ'ଣ Gibble. So now that Gibble thing, people are skeptical, କରିବା କଥା ନ କରିବା କଥା. But you see, the ability to be creative has reached to a stage where whatever you want, you can do. For example, I'll tell you, my son is just 13 years old. He's in class 9. He does fashion designing using AI.
Acha.
And you won't be, he's Odia guy. He's studying here. And he is doing that to the level that he has been selected as, a unicorn to go to US.
Oh.
This May. So now he's using technology, isn't it? So this is only possible because he has learned technology and he has never left his roots. He actually takes up Odia patterns, Odia
motifs,
all are natural garments, natural resources, but fine arts, handmade arts, stories that are relevant to Odisha to be on the garments in fashion. Now this is just one small example. There are so much people can do, and this can be this is not limited to just designing. It can go to any level. It can go to let's say someone is a cook. He'll say, boss, I'm a cook, how will I do that? No, it is no more limited like that. Technology has reached to such depth. Do you know that recently Google and IBM, they have surpassed this ability by using their quantum computing ability with the new chip Velo to compute things that would have taken more than 1,000 years for a regular computer to compute, which means a chemical reaction. They did it for a chemical reaction. Now to do such a small thing, it may be small in the sense, what is that? It's a chemical reaction, but a chemical reaction that could have taken 1,000 years to be, tested and arrived with a computer, not physically. They have been able to do it within minutes, which means today, let us say, I want to confirm that which kind of recipe would work for me for cooking.
Perfect recipe.
I can do it. I can do it with systems, with AI. That is the capability on which we are setting. So thinking that मैं तो cook हूँ, मैं तो chef हूँ, मैं क्या करूँगा technology? Please, why I'm telling you, I don't know if you go back and check. ଆମେ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ମାନେ hotel industry ଆମର footprint କେତିକି? Hotel industry ରେ, hoteling ରେ, hoteliers रे
କେତେ?
If you go into any of these merchant navy ships, you will find Odia chefs.
Acha.
Hotel industry Odias are actually has a large footprint. We are अच्छा भुवनेश्वर रे hotel management college আছে?
भुवनेश्वर रे hotel management ଅଛି.
And you see these people traveling everywhere, right? So we have been अच्छा ओडिया माने foodie ना नो?
हाँ ओडिया माने foodie. खाइबा हमारा सबटू पिक है.
So if you're foodie, where will we relate to? What will we do? We do that, right? And we have a footprint there, which is not very visible, but we have a large footprint there. And that is where technology can play a lot of role, which we are not utilizing, which is underutilized for me. So, I would like people to explore those things and utilize technology.
Technology में जो life रे integrate करियर अछि.
बिल्कुल, definitely. हमको भाविया कथा नहीं चाहिए बेटा वो करी परिवी न करबी, करो. Jump into it and do it. And then you'll find इतने जिनिस अच्छा में कर परिवी. He or she doesn't need to actually really get into programming anymore. We have surpassed that plane. Technology has surpassed that plane. जो हमको
manually coding सीखी के सब जिनिस करिया को पड़ियो.
बट टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करिया बहुत जिन कर पारिया और दैट इज द रीजन आई एम टेलिंग दैट दिस इज द एरा फॉर यू नो ओडियास टू मूव इन
आस्ते आस्ते मुविंग करूछन एक्चुअली बट वी नीड ए बूस्ट तो अब एआई ऊपर आमे जदि जाइछे ताले एआई आ जनरेटिव एआई मझरे जो हमर घिबिल इमेजेस चलथिला तो एआई आ जनरेटिव एआई ऊपर टे कहिबे एआई ऊपर तो आपण कहले जनरेटिव एआई ऊपर कहिबे
सो जनरेटिव एआई नो इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड इन प्रिंसिपल it generates on a certain inputs, right? So largely I mean generative AI jota popular knows is LLMs is one of the large you know key buzzword. ChatGPT is primarily LLM which has started modifying into other forms like you know in imaging and everything jota input nabo ta upare se build kariki baki jinso karibo but then ebi mu jo example le se sabu are जनरेटिव एआई रा गोटे गोटे यूटिलाइजेशंस ऑनेस्टली कहीं एआई जो कुछ एआई रा मल्टीपल ब्रांचेस अच्छी एआई जितने रोबोटिक्स साइड को जाए दैट्स अ टोटली डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट अच्छा एआई तो हमें जोटा में कंप्यूटर दैट इज नॉट दैट्स जस्ट वन पार्ट ऑफ एआई रा बहुत सारा आउ ब्रांचेस अच्छी फॉर एग्जांपल कंप्यूटर विजन इज आल्सो एआई कंप्यूटर विजन माने ओके जितना भी यूट्यूब देखछो ना हां इफ आई कैन लोड ए प्रोग्राम इनटू योर सिस्टम मु जानी पारिबी मोर व्यूअर से यूट्यूब रे एक्जेक्टली कोन देखतला से माइक टा को देखतला ना स्पीकर को देखतला ना ग्लास टा को देखतला फॉर एग्जांपल मु गोटे गीत प्ले करली आफ्टर द एंड ऑफ द सॉन्ग आई कैन चेक मोर 50 व्यूअर्स भीतर केति किलो को हीरोइन को देखतला केति किलो को हीरो को देखतला केति किलो को स्क्रीन बाहर को देखतले खाली वीडियो चलतला दिस इज पॉसिबल एंड दिस इज नोन एज कंप्यूटर विजन व्हिच मींस आई विल यूज अ कैमरा टू ट्रैक द आईबॉल ऑफ माय व्यूअर अच्छा sense it and record it and I'll analyze it so this is computer vision सेंति एरा बहुत ब्रांचेस दे बहुत जिंस अच्छी करिया पे वाली now computer vision बहुत practical use अच्छी think about it if I can give you this data that in this shot that you have made the footfall तक यानी eye fall is more on the heroine then your work is done you know what to show what not to show how much to show right or you, the other way around ए सीन टा मु तयारी करतली हीरोइन पे किन देखा लाग जे माने हीरो रो एटा इज बीइंग आई फॉल अधिक होची थिंग्स हैव चेंज है कि सो नाउ सिस्टम्स आर केपेबल ऑफ डूइंग दैट बाय वर्च्यू ऑफ एआई अच्छा so just like generative AI since generative AI is just one part of it generative AI a lot of people already know about it no with ChatGPT is not generative AI we are using it so there are so many other branches of AI that you know are still available to explore and people are working on it advanced इंडिया रे भी इंडिया बाहर भी सबठी या पर काम चलची अच्छा चैटबॉट ता ताले एआई रे गोटे पार्ट ही या चैटबॉट इज वन ऑफ द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ एआई कहले अब द कहले दैट इज देयर चैटबॉट कोन कि चैटबॉट रे देयर डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ चैटबॉट सिंपल चैटबॉट जेंति व्हेन आई फॉर एग्जांपल व्हाट्सएप रे यू नो दैट यू कैन कॉन्फिगर व्हाट्सएप फॉर ऑटो रिस्पांस हां हां सो इज इट एआई सो वेयर व्हाट इज द थिन लाइन बिटवीन अ रेगुलर प्रोग्राम टेक्नोलॉजी एंड एआई सेटा बुझिया एक्चुअली हां सेटा मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन सो एक्चुअली से लाइन ता आउरी थिन हे चलीबा एंड यू विल इट विल वैनिश सम डे आई टेल यू व्हाई कोन हो कि जेते बेले देन द लाइब्रेरीज आर ह्यूज एंड you are able to make the system respond it will slowly move into AI right so it is intelligence you are building intelligence artificial intelligence that was first intelligent systems were there now these systems are overloaded with information and were able to absorb it, assimilate it and automate to respond and they became AI right so in layman term intelligent system agar bhi thila na we used to have intelligent systems isn't it so similarly this chatbots when we come back they are now okay let me got example dochi chatbot na ajikal hochi agentic chatbot ha agentic mane आमे ब्रेक कर दो हमर पूरा फंक्शन को छोट छोट टुकड़ा ब्रेक कर दो गोटे एजेंट गोटे काम करिवो तापर आ गोटे एजेंट को हैंड ओवर कर दो से बाकी काम करिवो अच्छा माने गोटे चैटबॉट निजे काम करके आ गोटे चैटबॉट को हैंड ओवर कर दो दैट इज चैटबॉट नहीं एजेंट को हैंड ओवर माने आ गोटे एजेंट को हैंड ओवर कर बट यू फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग मु कोची फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से मोर गोटे डिलीवरी थिला मते मिलिलानी कस्टमर इरिटेट ही कॉल कला फर्स्ट एजेंट कोन करिया था सुनिया कथा आ एम्पैथेटिक है कया कथा जे सॉरी सर आई विल लुक इनटू इट इजंट इट मु तापे गोटे एजेंट तैयारी कली जी खाली सुनिबो आउ केस लॉक कर दबो आउ सपोर्ट करिबा विथ एम्पैथी दैट इज वन एजेंट
सॉरी
नेक्स्ट एजेंट एक्चुअली ताटो हैंड ओवर नेला परे बैकग्राउंड रे काम करियो व्हाइल दिस एजेंट इज लिसनिंग जे तार एक्चुअल इशूटा कोन थिला कोठी तार प्रोडक्ट अटकी अछि आउ से थर्ड एजेंट को हैंड ओवर करियो से जे फर्स्ट एजेंट थर्ड एजेंट को हैंड ओवर करियो जे now I'm escalating your call to my manager, they will help you out. Second agent already has found the details from the database and handed over to third agent, jab aap call transfer over. They are all bots. They are bots. Chatbot nahi, first and third are chatbots. The second is still a bot. जे कि database search करके case resolve करके hand over करछे. So by the time the case gets handed over, this customer has all the information तारा कौन पाइला. For example, से कोने मो लोग आस्थिले आपण डेलिवर करे चेष्टा करथिले आपण नथिले से थले बाहर वक्त देथिला आ जिस्टा खराब हिगला आपण नुआ रिप्लेसमेंट जीवो. It was a perishable good कौन थिबा. So this entire thing can happen within minutes. Within minutes obviously because case solve हिगला नहीं ताबे details. तापरे there could be disputes that no कि नहीं मु तो एटा करनली सेटा करनली. So today as we grow we will reach to a place where it may sound very futuristic but it's not too far. It is not too far. You think हमारा आगुरु ये थिला जंती हमें आधार पैन लिंक करतुम. There was one stage we were thinking we'll do it or not. Now everyone has link. Most of them has link. Now do you feel it's easy to track things, financial transactions?
बहुत
very easy.
अपन जो एजेंटिंग सिस्टम टा कहिले सेटा केमती स्टार्ट हितला आ कोठु स्टार्ट हितला.
So to give you a background, agentic is a modern thing, but agents are always there. For example, it all started with job specialization. Job specialization means I want certain jobs to be exclusively done by certain people in the organization and who are expert in that. Which means, the same person would have cooked the entire thing. Now I have a sauce chef, I have a chef, I have a helper. Doing multiple things, right? We do. For example, in your case, you do. Someone does recording, someone does editing, someone does multiple voiceover, etc. Now, so similarly, in an organization, let us take one simple flow, as I said, complaint. So there were specific people who would level zeros would actually create a ticket.
अच्छा जो support.
I'll tell you a support flow because it's easy to conceive. We have all dealt with support flow. So call receive करके गोटे ticket तैयारी करिवो तापर से hand over करिवो. That's why it was physical. So से L0 could also do the L1 work. L2 काम भी कर परिवो. हमें specialization काई खोजिलु. We were doing it because हमें जानचु से कामटा fully जहार specialization होची से empathy कर परिवो, customer को handle कर परिवो से L0 रे बसिवो. जी data खोजी परिवो से L2 रे बसिवो. Right? To make the case understandable and strong. सेमती पूरा cycle का थिला. सेटा को गोटे प्रश्न को आगु ऑटोमेट करा ही जाइथिला. Organizations like Microsoft, organizations like Amazon had already done it years back. Years back. Say automated portions गुड़ा को एबे पूरी रिवाइव है कि with the help of AI we are agentizing.
अच्छा.
So I'll give you an example. There is an I'm not sure if I can tell the name of the company, but there's a company which has a product which creates a campaign end to end.
Campaign in sense of social media campaign.
Every campaign you give them, so that's what you have an option. You go and tell, I want a social media campaign in sync with TV commercial and any XYZ, maybe billboards or whatever it is. CA तापे बली आगा concept बुझियो, campaign पूरा end to end design करियो with agents जिए कि आसी customer to approval नहीं की finalize करियो with a time schedule.
अच्छा.
And understanding the events on ground जे को time schedule संगरे event match करियो. Product अच्छी, it's a sellable product by a company.
अच्छा माने से chatbot टा human माने अच्छे तो interact करियो ना
कोन आपण खाली command दे दियो. For example आपण कहै जे एबे रथ यात्रा हमार अछि मते नुवा साड़ी लॉन्च करियार अछि. ठीक अछि. तार कैंपेन करे अछि. साड़ी एटा अछि कैंपेन करे अछि. रथ यात्रा इज वन ऑफ माय क्यूज. आपण प्लान करंतु ओडिशा और पैन इंडिया पे. आपण बाउंड्रीज कर देले कैंपेन रो सिस्टम तापर सब करी दे दो एई जगह रे एईटा आसीबा कथा कंटेंट एई दिन रे आसीबा कथा आ यार व्यूअरशिप एटा हबो मे बी आपण साड़ी कले मु जान टारगेट से नीचे बुझी के टारगेट ऑडियंस सब कर दे परियो. ଆଉ ଏଇଟା କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା ଏଜେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଅଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ଗୋଟେ କାମ ପରେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଯିବ ସୋ ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ ଏ କହୁଛି ଏଜେଣ୍ଟ ଏଇଥିରେ ଦରକାର ହେଲା କାହିଁକି ଲେଟେଷ୍ଟ ସେ ମୋତେ କେଉଁ ଜାଗାରେ ଚେଞ୍ଜ କରିବାର ଅଛି ମୋର ବଜେଟ୍ କନଷ୍ଟ୍ରେଣ୍ଟ ପଳେଇ ଆସିଲା ବଜେଟ୍ କନଷ୍ଟ୍ରେଣ୍ଟ ଚେଞ୍ଜ କରିବାର ଅଛି ମୋତେ ବାକି କିଛି ଚେଞ୍ଜ କରିବାର ନାହିଁ ସୋ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି କେଉଁ ଏଜେଣ୍ଟକୁ ଇନପୁଟ୍ ଦେଲେ ସେଇଟା ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଇଯିବ
ଆଚ୍ଛା
बजट के भी कंसीडर करते हैं कि मते तारा रेस्पॉन्स आसला मते हैंडलिंग रे प्रॉब्लम होची आई नो को एजेंट को करले सेटा चेंज हो जाय सेमती जनी पूरा फुल फ्लेज एंड टू एंड प्रोडक्ट्स अच्छे है रेट
अच्छा
तो सेते बेले एजेंटिक रो कैपेबिलिटी बहुत हाई अछि
बहुत डिमांड भी ताल तो बढ़ी जीवो बे
देयर आर मार्केट्स देयर आर एक्चुअली बॉट मार्केट्स जोटा आपण जे कि बॉट्स को किनी परिबे आ ताकू तो अपना एजेंटाइज करके कनेक्ट कर परिबे एंड
माने निज हिसाब रे कस्टमाइजेशन करि परिबे
हां तो एक्चुअली कोन होची आगुर एजेंट्स ओडा कॉर्पोरेट्स करथुले
अच्छा
एबे दिस हैज बीन सो इजी एंड सो मच अवेलेबल जे इफ आमे एज एन इंडिविजुअल भी चाहिए आम काम गुड़ा को आम एजेंट्स को देखिए करि परियो
अच्छा
राइट सो फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से मोर गोटे फैंसी अच्छी आई लव टू गिफ्ट पीपल कि मैं सब टाइम हुए नहीं बिकज लेट्स से आई एम बिजी सो आई क्रिएट एन एजेंटिक फ्लो जो थे कि इफ आई टेल से एजेंट बाकी सब काम कर दो ऑर्डर प्लेसिंग जाए बाई कन्फर्म फॉर एग्जांपल मु कह आई वांट टू गिफ्ट माय वाइफ ऑन हर birthday I can gift a friend also on his or her birthday did alga requirement ache but for a flow to same rahibo so I have created this agent so that I don't spend time when you are doing that kahi mu janchi mu na dei deli budget dei deli au location dei deli सब काम कर दो खोजी की बाची की भलो खराब पसंद ना पसंद सब जानी की एंड रिजल्ट पड़ा है
अच्छा
इंक्लूडिंग some of the options दे परियो
अच्छा ऑब्वियसली ऑप्शंस देला पर ही
एंड वी कैन फाइनलाइज थिंक आउट कहीं एथरा में बहुत सारा टाइम आवर लागु छी इट्स अ वेरी पैशनेट थिंग इट्स अ वेरी लवली थिंग पीपल वुड लव टू डू दैट बट विथ टुडेज यू नो पेस ऑफ लाइफ समटाइम्स वी वांट बट वी आर नॉट एबल टू डू आई एम आउटसोर्स कर परिया काम टू सिस्टम
अच्छा
ता माने कोन मुझे ई सिस्टम को एथरे मु कोची एथरे मते इनपुट दो पड़े लास्ट तीनटा गिफ्ट कोन देइथली पैटर्न फॉर देम टू अंडरस्टैंड से तीनटा गिफ्ट कौन रेस्पॉन्स थिला फॉर एग्जांपल तीनटा गिफ्ट रेस्पॉन्स थिला एटा बहुत कॉस्टली एते कॉस्टली गिफ्ट कहीं की देइथिलो कि एटा पेरिशेबल गिफ्ट पीपल हैव प्रेफरेंसेस आई डोंट लाइक फ्लावर्स और आई डोंट लाइक कॉस्टली गिफ्ट्स आई डोंट लाइक गिफ्ट्स दैट आई हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ गिफ्टिंग ए पेट दिस इज responsibility right so people have their own preferences you can give those preferences and system will do it for you portion by portion eat a crappy you have to buy agents you don't have to create them you can buy them the best part is go to a store bot store you buy them put them join them it will work it is as easy
जदि इंटेलिजेंस एते लेवल को एबे बढ़ी जाउची आ गोटे कांसेप्ट मु सुनिथिली न्यूरोमॉर्फिक कंप्यूटिंग
हां
माने व्हिच मिमिक्स ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंस
राइट
बट ता माने ऊपर टिके भलसे ब्रीफली जदि किछि कहिबे जदि लेमैन सुनछि
so neuromorphing मैंने this is neuromorphic computing so computation का कौन है we feel that computation is all you know zeros and one okay but neuromorphing कौन है when it has to mimic human intelligence it has to have other aspects to it right so
other aspects like
for example आपका human intelligence को कौन which is the most important part of human intelligence then
I think emotion और empathy
right सो ये जो इमोशन एंड एम्पैथी तार भी गोटे सिस्टम अच्छी पैटर्न अच्छी राइट सेटा को न्यूरोमॉर्फिंग रे वी आर एबल टू यूटिलाइज
अच्छा
सो इट इज देखो एआई रो सेटा को एडवांटेज व्हेन वी गिव देम अ लार्ज सेट ऑफ डेटा से कोन करछ से डेटा को पढुची से थ्रू पैटर्न्स काढुची जोटा हम डेटा साइंस रे करछु राइट डेटा साइंस इज ए यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ दैट so when you mix all of them then it comes to a plane where I can utilize this output of the large data set or machine learning that will take you to the plane where your computation can give you outputs that are more relevant aligned to humans neuromorphic computing re as a layman bujhar chigalla see I am teaching something to computer and I have to teach something to a kid डिफरेंस कौन कंप्यूटर जहाँ कल से करिए दबो राइट किंतु किड कौन किड्स विल डू मिस्टेक्स किड्स विल लर्न डू मिस्टेक्स सो ह्यूमंस कौन थाए ह्यूमंस our human neurons gote spike ku jati, they reach a place and then they come down, right? से behavior to हमें copy करेगा चेष्टा करचु technology रे, which means during the process of teaching and learning my system will reach a spike and fall down. सेटा को capture करके we are going to reutilize. It is not a continuous learning. There's a spikes and falls, right? Seita is the key difference between neuromorphic computing and or the spikes that we use in neuromorphic computing and the regular, AI or a regular machine learning training. So this pattern is very useful. If I am able to make computers learn like this, they can start learning from humans. There's a large space between computers learning from human and directly and computers learning from data from human.
Difference तो बहुत अच्छी.
So with this neuromorphic computing, systems will be able to learn directly from humans. तामने हमारा learning ability कितना fast है जीवा, कितना speed है जीवा, मैंने systems का learning ability कितना fast है जीवा, and hence their response will be better for us.
तभी जदि हमें ह्यूमन माने न्यूरोमॉर्फिक कंप्यूटिंग जे ह्यूमन सिस्टम को मिमिक करूची ता ऊपर जाउची माने हम ट्यूरिंग टेस्ट ऊपर कथा हबा. अलन ट्यूरिंग करथिल 1950 ऊपर,
राइट?
तो ट्यूरिंग टेस्ट कोन?
Turing test was purely that he wanted to see if computers can think like humans or not. If I have to put a computer against a human, will it be able to think like human? That was in 1950, बहुत आगरू, and then he found that yes, it can be done. Now, but we are today way ahead of it. Now we think that if systems can behave like humans or emotionally can they be like us or not, right? So Turing test was good, great, but we have surpassed that long back.
Yes. तो एबे हमें आसीबा सिंथेटिक मीडिया ऊपर. एबे रिसेंटली चलथला गिबिल इमेजेस which is also part of synthetic media. तो synthetic media actually कौन? Is it just generative AI? इटा खाली generative AI की?
No, not really. It's generative AI. It's one of the fields under generative AI. But synthetic media is a very wide term, if I have to say. Images are just one of them. जो हम बहुत सारे देखचो fake videos आस्ची, they are all synthetic media, right?
अच्छा, मैंने जो deep fake क्वेश्चन थी, it's a part of synthetic media.
हाँ, it's all, see, any media that is not directly from media and it can be synthesized are synthetic media, isn't it? So they're all synthetic media. কিন্তু synthetic media रो बहुत भलो खराब दीटा साइड अच्छी. Deep fakes can be harmful, can be misused. Well, the same thing, deep fakes can be used for on a very creative purpose, on a creative plane. So for example, today I want to make a movie with Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is no more. Whatever amount of money I pay, will Bruce Lee be able to come and act for me? No, right? But there are certain things that I know that only Bruce Lee can do. But synthetic media can do it for me.
Acha.
Right? So let us today I want to make a movie with certain actors who are not available. Or let us say, for example, I want to have an actor 20 years earlier. Now that actor is old, or Amitabh Bachchan, let us say. Rajnikant. So those things, Aguru, quality is very different. Amazingly different, right? So those things are possible now, which means they have become ageless. So, and synthetic media doesn't only hold good for just images, sounds achi, voice achi.
Like music compose bhi kariye.
So for example, I'll tell you, if you want to understand synthetic media, I'll give you a real example. You know what was the speciality of Mohammad Rafi?
Singer.
What was his speciality?
Ghazal.
Mohammad Rafi was speciality like say जो actor पे गाउत ना. This was there actually for few female singers also. So say जहाँ जो actor पे गाउत ना like वो सीए गाउत.
हाँ मैंने जो voice रा ये टा modulation टा से बड़ा करते हैं.
And if you are into music, you'll understand one of the major component of that is the breathe. Say actor of breathe तो जब वो copy कर दे भी पहले like वो काट गाउत. All those mimic artists do it. A lot of mimic artists do that. Right? So you have to catch the breath of the character, and if you can take the breath of the character, your voice will be in that same,
same frequency,
same pattern. So now this, how long will a system take to do that? So easy.
minutes.
Isn't it? So we have seen real examples, and that is the reason we used to appreciate him so much. Our systems can do it. And that doesn't mean that his values will go down. Muhammad Rafi will always be Muhammad Rafi, but systems are capable of doing that. So understanding whatever was a tone, pitch, hiss, everything can be copied in such a systematic manner. So you can copy anyone's voice. You can use.
ତାହେଲେ ଡିଫେକ୍ଟ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଫାଷ୍ଟ ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ ପର୍ପଜ୍ ପାଇଁ
Defect actually ଭଲ purpose का ଅଛି ଲୋକମାନେ misuse କରୁଛନ୍ତି. It's almost like ମୁଁ କହିବି ଯେ these things are being used for hacking, these things are being used for frauds. So there are good purposes. People are misusing them. It's absolutely that. ତାର ଭଲ purpose ବହୁତ ଅଛି.
ତ ଏବେ ଆସିବା ଗୋଟେ ଯଦି ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ଏବେ ଟେକ୍ନୋଲୋଜି କ୍ୟାରିୟର ବିଲ୍ଡ କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ସଫ୍ଟୱେୟାର ଟେକ୍ କମ୍ପାନୀରେ ଆଜି ଡେଟ୍ରେ ବହୁତ ଡିମାଣ୍ଡ. ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ କୋଭିଡ଼ ପରେ ତ ସଫ୍ଟୱେୟାରରେ ଯେଉଁ ଏଣ୍ଟ୍ରି ଆମର ରହିଥିଲା ଗ୍ରାଜୁଏଟ୍ସ ମାନଙ୍କର ବହୁତ ଅଧିକ ରହିଥିଲା. ତ ଜଣେ ଟେକ୍ନୋଲୋଜିରେ କ୍ୟାରିୟର ବିଲ୍ଡ କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ତାହେଲେ କେଉଁ ଜିନିଷ ତା ମାନେ ମୁଣ୍ଡରେ ରଖିବାର ଅଛି?
ଫର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଜିନିଷ ଦ ପର୍ସନ୍ ହାଜ୍ ଟୁ ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡ ଯେ ଟେକ୍ନୋଲୋଜି ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ଲିମିଟେଡ୍. ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଭାବନ୍ତି ଯେ ମୁଁ ଖାଲି ଜାଭା ପଢ଼ିଦେବି କି ଏଇଟା ପଢ଼ିଦେବି ହେଇଯିବ, that's very wrong. It's not पढ़िया कथा, but understand that one has to be highly flexible in today's world to be
limited रखियार नहीं निजी
limited रहिले हबनी एका. जदि मुझे मते एटा जणा सिथाने मु I will be in space, maybe you can crack an interview and go somewhere, but you are not going to grow. One has to be highly flexible. काहे कि टेक्नोलॉजी निजे एति चेंज होची जे you do not know where it's going to go. Everything will have a use and everything will have their own limitations too. This can be used for everything. For example, JB technology जो बुझिबे, C is a powerful language, absolutely powerful language. आज जीरो डेट रे भी जदि मतलब driver level coding करे अछि कहले C is still the language, right? Well paid jobs are in C, absolutely great. किंतु आज जीरो इंटरव्यू केतरो C पचारचंती. It doesn't have that kind of utilization, right? But C is one thing that everyone will still study because core concepts clear is amazing. Similarly, when you pick these languages or study, you have to be open in your mind. जब को जगह रे move करे होचो. Technology is such a wide plane, and especially with this new technology coming up everywhere, you have to be well focused and understand. So I would recommend them first they should follow their interest. Do not just go for जब मतलब चाकरी करिया अछि सेले चाकरी करिया अछि. तांकरो where they want to be. कहीं तमे टेक्नोलोजी सीखिकी बोइंग रे भी काम कर परियो, टेक्नोलोजी सीखी मीडिया स्टूडियो रे भी काम कर परियो, टेक्नोलोजी सीखिकी बैंक रे भी काम कर परियो, डेटा इंटेंसिव ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से काम कर परियो. अंडरस्टैंड वेयर योर पैशन इज, व्हाट यू लाइक टू डू. ता अराउंड रे टेक्नोलॉजी सीखा एंड देन एक्सप्लोर, एंड देन आई एम श्योर यू विल बी एबल टू फेयर वेल. कहीं की attitude is a very important thing. And this attitude cannot, for example, problem solving कथा को जी सब interview पचारे do you have problem solving skill or not? People will say yes. What is the problem solving skill? जब तो problem solving skill तो अच्छा हो. I'll give a real example in organization. People will join an organization and say कि अरे there's so much of problem. If you are able to get to a place where you see there are so many of problems, then what is your problem solving skill? Understand that problem solving skill is not limited to just the problem in the paper. It is a problem solving that has to be used in your life.
Real life. So you be a part of the solution, and then you will see if life changes. So if you ask me what should I advise them, you have to have the right attitude, be a real problem solver, look out for your passion, find the technology around it, and build your career on these things. I'm sure you'll be successful. This may look a little weird and vague, but these are the key to be successful in your career. See, money and position, they are the secondary things. They'll automatically come when you do those things. Now, you may have your own targets, you may plan for that, but all those things can be planned with these components also. And if you can plan them with these components, I am sure you will be happier and prosperous, and you will be more balanced. Otherwise, you will always see that gota kala audience pade jauchi. So think about the balance of any system. Mathematically also, if you want 100 on the right side, and for that, let us say if you have to do into 2 for a figure of 50, right? If you do right side into 2, left side also you have to do something else in an equation. So life is like that. So unless that equation is clear with you, you will never be able to, grow. So to create that balance and equation, I'm telling these components. A component therapy, if you will get focused on them, understand it clearly, you'll be able to take up. Because learning technology is not that difficult anymore. Aguru thila, it used to be so difficult to learn technology, right from content availability to the time you had to spend. Every learning technology has become way easier. Okay? As a matter, exposure भी बहुत मिल जाउची.
YouTube रे गाइड करा बहुत जन मिल जाउछन बहुत सारा क्लासेस
मिल जाउची, जिनसे बहुत मिल जाउची. हाँ, there are certain things that people, another thing that I see in youngsters, they want to jump. You don't have to jump. Jump kale kon habo, you don't think that eita पढ़ाई असले तोले just adjust नहीं, सेटा नहीं. Concepts have to be cleared. It has to be from the basics. So you may jump into the next thing, but the next thing, aguru precursors or stages has to be clear. Spend time on them. क्योंकि ऊपर जिन थोड़ा सा change ही चलिए, build भी ही चलिए.
फाउंडेशन स्ट्रांग रहता
फाउंडेशन स्ट्रांग रहे बहुत अधिक.
तो एबे गोटे मो मन रे बड़ क्वेश्चन अछि आज रेटर मूवी देखि छी जे कोन सो टेक कंपनी रे जॉब करिया कहले बा कोन सो टेक अराउंड किछ गोटे बिल्ड करिया कहले डिग्री और प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग दुईटा अछि जते गोटे कोन सो रेपुटेड इंस्टीट्यूशन अपन डिग्री नौछंती और निजे कोन सो जिंस पढुछंती बा कोन सो गोटे जगह रो प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग नौछंती दुईटा भितर इंपोर्टेंस कोन गोटे कंपनी तले हायर करछि कोन देखुछि.
So degree is a thing that will take you to the place, but practical things will make you sustain there. So degree is a very important thing, I agree, and especially in a country where the population is so high, and certificate or a degree will qualify your candidature to a certain level, which is very true and important. But say to gala pore, your degree will not be able to help you much. Kaiki mu kochi, you think about how degrees are made. It's a standard thing. A lot of people go, say we have grade A, grade B, percentage, etc. So all of them are certifying you, qualifying you that you are eligible for certain things. But this is a certification from a third party, right? But one who is hiring you is not hiring because of someone's opinion. Someone's opinion matters for him to talk to you, right? But unless you are able to deliver it, it has no use. It is almost like someone telling ki this is a great product, but if you get the product and it's not working for you, you are not going to hold it, isn't it? बहुत अच्छा फोन है, सब बोलते हैं आईफोन बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन मैं नहीं चला पा रहा तो फिर आईफोन का क्या ही फायदा है, right?
Utilization नहीं तो
हाँ, there are a lot of people I'm sure who would agree that iPhone is great, but they don't use iPhone because somehow they are not able to onboard themselves with it.
User interface सारा ठीक है.
हाँ, so it is not that iPhone खराब है. It is not that the person who has a great degree is certified है, great है, लेकिन उस environment में fit नहीं बैठ रहा. And that's the reason I don't want people to even get disheartened कि I have got such a great marks but I am not getting selected. No, it is only the fitment. So if you ask me, if you are looking for the end result of being fitment, that is where the other thing comes. You have to be flexible, adaptive. That is what will matter. You have to be practical how to implement these things on ground. So degrees will take you there for sure, and degrees are important, especially in an environment in which we live. But it is your own skills, life skills, it is your technology skills that will keep you afloat and will make you grow.
तो एबे आम वार्तालापर शेष भाग को जीवा जो आरंभ कर शेष करवा ओडिशा ओडिशा टेक्नोलोजी स्टार्टअप रो इकोनॉमी को भलिया आ तार नेक्स्ट 5 इयर्स रे को भलिया अपॉर्चुनिटी अछि.
So from a government perspective, maybe NASCOM Sangare, I was in a meeting with them, and then policy level maybe I was, I had given my opinions. Government has been, at least Odisha government is, spending a lot of, effort towards from a startup perspective. आउ ओडिशा रे बहुत सारा स्टार्टअप अच्छी भी आउ हब भी. 2025 policy is great. And if you compare it with other state policies, so Odisha is actually doing a lot of good work, because I have seen policy of Odisha, I have seen policy of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, these chata state ro policy dekhi chi detail re. Kintu having said that, policy wise government is stepping पूर्वापेक्षा better अच्छी, बहुत better अच्छी. माने बहुत सारा कैटेगरी हो जाइए. फॉर एग्जांपल एबे नुआ लोक हायर कले गवर्नमेंट इज गोइंग टू हेल्प.
अच्छा
हाँ, पॉलिसी रे गोटे पार्ट अच्छी वेयर गवर्नमेंट विल पे यू इफ यू हायर पीपल.
अच्छा
स्टार्टअप तो एमती दे आर वेरी यूनिक थिंग्स एंड गुड थिंग्स. तो चाहे लोकेशन हो काम करने पाई obviously these are not that straightforward because government doesn't want कि लोग मैंने misuse करंतु, but at the same time government तो बहुत सारा करছে and I see जे when government is so proactive लोक मैंने तार benefit नेबे और growth करिवे. ଆଉ ओडिशा पर से ओडिशा रे they are having different hubs जेमते हमें कहूछु class A class B city ओडिशा भितरे भी I have seen other cities coming up even संबलपुर सेठी मुझे कुछ कंपनीज आसुँच कम कर ग्रो कर तो देखा सब जिन भुवनेश्वर हवा कथा यूजुअली बीइंग ए कैपिटल कटक भुवनेश्वर ए रीजन रे बट नहीं बाकी जगह भी हो स्टार्टअप माने इट इज नॉट ओनली आईटी राइट देयर आर सो मेनी स्टार्टअप्स दैट कैन हैपन. तो आई सी थिंग्स ग्रोइंग. एंटरप्रेन्योर जील बहुत अच्छी ओडिशा रे ओडिया वाला बट दैट फिजल्स आउट. आरंभ करिए गोटे टाइप पर सेटा
काहे की
तार गोटे रीजन अच्छी. दैट इज द की वेयर आई वांट द यू नो those people who are interested or those who step into it for them to understand that your planning has to be precise and I want them to they should do some kind of preparative activity. It could be courses, it could be being with a mentor for some time before the startup so that they know the journey before they step in. Just because there is a thought, just because I have seen, I have heard, do not step. And I have coached few startups. I have in my real life I have coached certain startups. I have gone through the entire journey of startups, both in acquisition as well as growth. I would recommend people to always find the right kind of connect and mentor. If someone can mentor them, the chances for them to be successful is way higher. It is X times body check. So it is. I would recommend all of them to take advantage of these government policies. Try out things that they are in their mind, but always under guidance. If it is unguided, the chances of failure is very high. I'll tell you, semi startup chances of failure is high. Unguided है लाउरी पड़ जीवो. So why do you get into that? See, everyone will appreciate a hero, but they do not count the total number of failures that has happened during that hero, right? So, and that is the reason people feel heroic about it.
जो बहुत तरह फेल ही साला परे
surprisingly gambling is categorized under entertainment. Right? Gambling is categorized under entertainment. You know why people gamble?
माने गोटे थाए जे काळे हे जीवो.
So people gamble because their adrenaline rush.
Feel that.
So many failures I have won. Again, so many failures. So they know that there is failure. They know that they are stepping in, but still they want to do that thing. So a lot of startups come with that feeling, startup करना है, कौन आरंभ करिया, follow करिया.
Thrill गोटे हो.
Thrill, but say thrill टा जे systematic हवनी कहले, we are bound to
fail.
So, but startups are not like gambling. Let me tell you. They are very systematic and they can be done in another reason why what I would recommend for the startup one is mentorship. If they can go through the right mentorship. Next thing is about a lot of startups should be flexible again. A lot of startups close because they are inflexible.
Open रखा कथा नहीं जो सब to every opportunity.
Right. And if you go back and study, a lot of these successful entrepreneurs would have done it multiple times and would have been successful. So, for example, there are books like, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. There's a separate chapter for entrepreneurs there. There are books like, Picking the Right Horse, Horses Sense, so one has to, reading books, will it help you? No. Does all the entrepreneurs read books? No, not necessarily. But I think, so one of my cousin who has been doing research, funded research, what makes an entrepreneur or a startup, successful? He's from IIT Bombay, and he was from IIT Bombay. Now he's doing research in IIT Jaipur. So there are a lot of things, like this, which a government is spending, but the X factor of it is, no one can clearly say what will work, what not will work, right? But still, to reduce that X factor or to parameterize the X factor, guidance, lot of reading, understanding, being practical, and most importantly, problem solving.
Problem solving attitude.
So yeah. But there are a lot of yeah. But Odisha, for that matter, I know that people start, but I sometimes also appreciate it. People should try. I know it is a sad part that they'll fail, but at least they have tried. That adds to their experience. I just don't want them to be sad about that.
नौकरी रिग्रेट करिया अपेक्षा करिकी सिखी जिवो रिग्रेट आउ कोन
सिखी जिवो
सेटा परे लाइफ रे यूज हो
देन गो टू समथिंग एल्स दैट सूट्स यू किछि खराब नै सो बिकॉज़ आई पर्सनली व्हेन आई सी लॉट ऑफ दिस resumes coming to me that for 2 years I tried something, my question to them is not the thing why did you try it. I say what did you learn from that
while trying,
because that is important. That's what I'm going to use in my company, isn't it? If you have learned probably मु आरंभ कली एंड मु जानी पाली सब कला पर अकाउंटेंसी रे मोर बहुत खराब मु अकाउंटिंग करि पारनी तुम सेल्स भलो कर पतलो तुम सेल्स रे काम करो अकाउंटिंग करबा लोक अछि राइट यू आर डूइंग समथिंग ग्रेट राइट सो एंड लोक को बेटा भाबिया कथा जे दोस पीपल दोस फेल्ड आर नॉट टोटल फेलियर्स दे वुड हैव डन समथिंग गुड लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैव दिस ब्लॉग माइंडसेट से तो फेलियर तब कहीं जानी यू टेक देम सम अदर कैपेसिटी इन व्हिच दे आर गुड. So it is a both way thing. People should be able to, and any good entrepreneur will, agree with me. An entrepreneur is an entrepreneur when he knows how to utilize the resource correctly. Right? Otherwise, no one would have ever thought that water can be used for making money by selling them. You cannot sell water and make money, especially in a country like India, but it is happening. So,
entrepreneurship mindset, problem solving.
And they themselves should be able to utilize resource properly. Resource utilization is also a very important factor in entrepreneurship.
ओके आज वार्तालाप आज आम ए समाप्त करवा. धन्यवाद सर्वजित आपण मूल्यवान समय नहीं आम सहित एत सारा वैल्यूएबल इनसाइट शेयर कले. आई एम श्योर जे बहुत सारा यूथ मान को हेल्प कर टू बिल्ड देयर कैरियर इन टेक. बहुत जन को माने बुझीपारे जे एक्चुअली आज के डेट रे टेक्नोलोजी कौन को इवॉल्व होईछि. धन्यवाद आपण मूल्यवान समय.